Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Haas. Today we're going to be looking at our 1K crypto portfolio, the one that we started just a few weeks ago. So actually recently we've seen a 20% increase on the portfolio in total. It's been huge. So we are roughly at 1200 before we started buying more crypto. And of course, last night I bought crypto. Today we're going to be talking about some of the gains that we have in our portfolio, and we're going to be talking about what we're buying today. So again, we started this portfolio at $1,000, and about every 2 weeks we're going to make a video like this, going through and putting a little bit more money in as if we're replicating a 9-to-5 job, which is what I do. So you're basically following along with my investment strategy. Now I do own all the cryptos that we're putting in this portfolio at the amounts, so I'm not showing you guys that I've bought something that I haven't actually bought. I do own everything. The crypto is actually coming out of my portfolio, so I'm not buying brand new cryptos, but I am pulling the coins out of my portfolio at that price, and we're going to be seeing how it goes. So when we do sell, you are actually seeing me sell from my real portfolio. So instead of managing two, I'm just managing one. Okay, let's get into it. So immediately after buying our cryptocurrency, we actually had a bit of a dip. So we dipped down almost to the $800 mark. So we were at about 840, 850, somewhere in that range. So obviously we took a little bit of a tumble, and you shouldn't be too concerned when you do see market dips. I've always said when you put something in the market, make sure you're not putting in too much that you're going to get spooked and not want to buy in when the dips come, because that's exactly when you want to buy. Now I did hold myself from buying at those dips because I figured most people, you get a paycheck, you have to wait until payday to buy, so you can't buy every dip. And I want to show you that even if you're doing that, even if you're taking a little bit from your paycheck, you can still make a profit. So we did pick up strong with our portfolio. Actually, we gained about 20% after the 20% drop. So we did make that back up to 1,000. And then Polkadot proceeded to explode over the last couple of days and definitely carried our portfolio. But we'll be talking about exactly what grew our portfolio. So first we have Cardano. It actually grew our portfolio by roughly 7%. So we gained around $30 for our Cardano position. And then the rest, around $167, give and take, we actually gained all in Polkadot. And a few of our cryptos lost like 5 here and there. A few gained 5 here and there. So everything kind of evened out. Our Bitcoin lost and a few other lost. Some of them broke even basically, but nothing was really notable. I have them out on the screen there. If nothing else really moved our portfolio, it was mainly just these two, but I do have those on the screen so we can see exactly what those changes were. Okay, so let's talk about what we were buying. So I picked a number and it's more or less arbitrary. I thought it was just a good number and representation of how much we put in and how much I think it, due to good budgeting, maybe picking up a side hustle, you should be able to at least put this in every couple of weeks or once a month. And if this is too much or too little, just adjust your amounts. I wouldn't follow exactly what I do because I'm not a financial advisor, but at least it gives you an idea of where to invest. So we're starting with $400 to put in. We're going to be doing this bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks, we're going to do $400. If you guys think that's too much or too little, please let me know and we will change that. So we're going to look at exactly what we bought in order, and I'm going to explain each decision and why we bought the certain crypto or why we didn't buy a crypto. And don't forget, we'll be doing this throughout the bull market. So by all means, subscribe to catch the future videos, and we'll probably end up doing this through the bear market if there's enough interest in carrying on the portfolio. Most likely we will, but let me know when we obviously get to that point. But right now it's time for the bulls. So, and even in a bear market, there's always a bull market. There's always something to go into. So, we are still going to be making money in bear markets. Maybe not as parabolic, but we'll definitely be making profits. Okay, so our first purchase was ADA, so more Cardano. Now the big reason, obviously, our portfolio was carried by DOT. But I think because Cardano hasn't really moved up since we bought it last, it moved up a little bit, about 7%, like I said earlier, but it hasn't moved up a lot. So I still think that there's a lot of price potential that we can get into, and I haven't seen much growth, so our dollar cost average is around the same. So it's a good buy. Instead of going in and buying half the DOT that we could buy previously, we can now buy the exact same or close to the same amount of ADA. and potentially have a higher increase later on. So we're not going to be buying DOT this round. We may buy DOT later on. That will probably happen in the next few weeks, but we definitely want to stock up on our Cardano. So we have purchased around 292 Cardano, 292.5, and we purchased that at 34 cents per Cardano per ADA. Now ADA is our actual highest holding at around $430, and that makes up roughly 27% of the portfolio. I'm really expecting that ADA at least will double from here. Really, I'm aiming for, in the short term, that $1 mark. I think that we can make that within the next few months, especially in the next few weeks if altcoins start to pop up, if we start to see an alt season kind of spring from the bleeding out of Bitcoin, which we do see here. So hopefully we have alt season popping up, and then we might see some big gains for ADAs, but I'm happy to get in at this price. Well, it hasn't really moved over the last few weeks, or last, I guess, week. In my main portfolio, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm really trying to get up on my ADA and fill my ADA bag. I think it's far too low for what I want it to be. So I'm definitely going to be buying some more ADA as soon as I can. So the next is Bitcoin, and this might seem weird because we're kind of in a crossroad for Bitcoin. Some people are calling for dips to, even test down to the 10K mark, where some people are saying that we're going to swing to the like 75,000 mark. Really, we could go either way. I think it would be realistic to see Bitcoin go down and go down further, especially from here. I think testing lows like in the 20,000s might be realistic. I highly doubt that we'll see down below 10K or 10K-ish, even in the teens. I don't think we'll see that low. But I guess anything's a possibility. If we do see that low, I will definitely be putting way more money in. But I think realistically, we'll probably only see it go down a little bit before it goes back to the upside. So for now, we are going to be putting $25 into BTC, mainly for a couple of reasons. One, BTC's retirement. If you're investing in cryptocurrency at all, and especially if you're just doing a $1,000 portfolio and you don't have a lot of money to invest, we got to be thinking long term here. So start living in 2030. Buy your Bitcoin for 2030, right? So buy your Bitcoin for retirement. I personally wouldn't be looking at Bitcoin for short-term profits. I don't think you're going to be getting that with Bitcoin. So if you're buying any Bitcoin, expect it to be a very long-term hold. So we bought this Bitcoin at around 32,000 and around 32,200, 32,181 is the exact price. Next we have is XRP. So I did a whole video on XRP, why XRP is a good buy, and I'm going to explain a little bit in this video here. The big thing about XRP that you need to know right now and why I'm buying it right now is I'm betting against the SEC case. So I'm actively, regardless of fundamentals, take that out of the equation. If you just look at XRP in this case, the SEC really has no grounds to issue the XRP in current circulation as a security. They're not asking for it in the lawsuit. That's not the focus. They're just targeting the XRP that's in escrow and the XRP that Ripple sold. So any other XRP that's out in the ecosystem is basically fair game and not a security. So at this point, as soon as this case is concluded, I'm expecting that it's going to be a high percentage of 95% or up confidence that XRP is going to shoot up like a beach ball that's been held underwater. I absolutely believe that. We've seen that before with other cryptocurrencies. So my bet here is definitely against the SEC case doing permanent damage to XRP as a digital currency. I do think that it does include a little bit more risk. This is obviously a little bit of a big short moment where there's a massive shakeout happening, but I'm placing my hedge, and I think I'm right. I have a lot of good information. There's a lot of lawyers that agree with me. I've done a lot of my research. I would expect that you do your research before you invest in anything, but I do think that XRP is going to make a good amount of gains in the future. And actually, in my main portfolio, as a disclosure, I hold about 27% of my main portfolio as XRP. So just to give you a perspective. But for this portfolio, we're going to be including $50 worth of our deposit into XRP, which comes to 186 XRP at 26 cents. So remember, make sure to assess your own risk, make sure to keep in contact with the news and understanding exactly what's happening, and understand the fundamentals of a project before you invest into it. But that is my 2 cents. I think it is going to come out on top in terms of the case. So I don't think you have much to worry about. Now, I've also made another video on this crypto. So Hbar, something that recently I've been thrusted into and taking a look at. It's a very interesting project. It really targets more at the enterprise company solutions for blockchains in terms of their applications and what they need. It's distributed ledger technology, so it's similar to things like XRP and Stellar in terms of it is like blockchain technology, but it runs on a distributed ledger. So Hydra Hashgraph operates in a different style than regular blockchains. It is more of a distributed ledger. It is governed by the same enterprises that it tends to facilitate solutions to. So currently on the council are entities like LG, like Boeing, IBM. There's tons more. So that's what comprises the council. I believe there's 38 council members plus Hydra. And then the next council members will be chosen by the membership society. And they serve 3-year terms, and they can serve up to twice consecutively. So you would expect that businesses focused on having a blockchain for them would govern it themselves, because they would want their technology governed the way that they want. So as an investor, the technology is pretty impressive. It's pretty quick. It's very functional. I think it has a lot of purpose in terms of tokenized assets and other use cases. So I truly think that Hbar is going to be a big player in the future. And I think it's going to do well in this bull run, regardless of what people say about it being a long-term hold. I do think that we're going to see gains in this bull cycle. We purchased 1,893.69 Hbar for $175 at roughly 9.2 cents each. And that officially brings the Hbar holding to about 10% of our portfolio. Now, next time we're definitely gonna be looking at adding to some funds in other projects that we didn't add to this time, like things like VET. I still wanna buy VET and it's still super cheap. I really needed to get into the ADA game before going into anything else. I needed to pick up a little bit more ADA. So the last buy that we have is Chainlink. We purchased $50 worth of the smart contract technology. So this is the Oracle of blockchains. Essentially, it's going to work interoperably, same with how Polkadot works, basically running Oracle so other blockchains can operate with each other. So it's really going to connect blockchains in the future. So you might ask, why are we buying this when we have, DOT and ADA and we have ETH? Why would we buy another smart contract blockchain? The reality is DeFi is right around the corner. We're going to be seeing huge DeFi applications. Chainlink is an integral part in that. And Chainlink also has a lot of partnerships to a lot of decentralized applications and other applications. So Chainlink's everywhere right now. So Chainlink is going to rise. And I'm not going to miss out on gains when Chainlink is basically a sure thing, and as sure thing as crypto can get. So be aware that there is risk no matter what you buy, but I do think that Chainlink's going to do well. I do think they also have good growth potential, similar to where DOT stands in terms of growth potential. So we bought 2.15 Chainlink and we paid $23.21 each link. When you look into crypto, you want to make sure that you're investing in things that have a good price potential, right? So you do want to make sure that things are solid projects and will do well in the future. And especially here, you can see how I organize my portfolio. I bought a little less Bitcoin. Bitcoin for me is like the most surest thing that you could get. It's basically buying gold compared to buying stocks. For me, I think Bitcoin is always going to go up. I don't think we're going to see Bitcoin ever stop being a store of value, regardless of what the bears say. I think it is good at the one thing it does, which is a store of value. So I think Bitcoin is going to be an incredible long-term hold. When you have tokens like DOT and ADA and all these other tokens can easily 10x from here. And then you have Bitcoin that, a 10x Bitcoin is $320,000, which it sure is realistic at some point in the future. Is it realistic this bull run? Well, I don't know. Is it, more realistic that we hit the 100K mark to 150? I think that's realistic. But I don't think that we would hit the 10x for Bitcoin. So we don't have the same price potential, and especially not as quick, because we have alt season coming, and we could see thousands of percentage gains through alt season. And then, who knows what could happen from there. We could see another alt season, or we could just go until the end of the bull cycle. Now, I'm not saying it's not a good time to buy things like DOT when I didn't buy it this time. But the reason why I didn't buy DOT is because it's already gone up about almost 100%, 80% from when I bought it. So I don't want to go in now. And the price potential that I have on ADA, since it hasn't gone up too much on me, I can still put the same amount of money in and gain way more with ADA than I could with DOT. Now, I do think DOT's going to around $26 in the near term. I outlined that in a video of mine, so go check that out. But I do think that, so as much as it's a good buy, I think that there's a better buy here for this portfolio and how we're structuring this. Now with Bitcoin, in terms of the long-term staying power, I'm so bullish on the long term of Bitcoin that I actually lock up all of my Bitcoin and pull out a collateralized loan at the lowest interest that I can with Celsius, and then I'll go and reinvest that USDC into another project. So recently I actually just took out a loan, put half into DOT and half into Cell Token, and I bought DOT at $9.61. So you can imagine I've already made half of that loan off of what I've made on DOT, and then Cell has kind of stayed stagnant. I think I've lost $1 each Cell token that I bought, but I'm expecting Cell's going to rise again, as it usually does, as more users get onto the platform and more people start to use it. If you don't have Celsius, I'm going to leave a referral code down in the description, so go check that out. And I think over the next week or so, I'll do a video of me moving some of the crypto that at least Celsius holds into a Celsius account, so we can have that and see that and show that in the updates, and then gain interest on our crypto. So as I close out this video, I just want to ask a few questions. One, are we good with every 2 weeks for this? Should we do it every 1 week, or should we do it once a month? And then two, how much should we be putting in? Is 400, do you guys feel that 400 is good? Should it go higher? Should it be lower? I don't want to be too high, because I obviously have to afford it. But as long as it's reasonable, let's talk about that. So if we want to make some decisions on the price and how often, please let me know what you guys think in the description, and we will kind of plan accordingly. And also, shill your coins, please. Keep in mind that I don't have time to look into all of them, but I'm going to try my best to look into as many. I'm not going to be able to make videos for all of them, but there are a lot of good coins that I am looking at, and for any that spark my interest, like somebody commented Hbar, then we will include them into the portfolio. All right, that's it for me, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't miss the next portfolio video, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy hodling.